All right, this is the modules I'm installing in my motorhome. It allows me to run the slides in and out automatically. One touch, you just press this button once, it'll run it all the way out. When this sees the amp rise, it shuts off. You can adjust it here. Very easy system, very easy to install. All the wiring is already there. You do need to switch it over here onto the corresponding terminals, and the ground wire is tied together and runs up to the switch. So you have this MPX switch goes up to the switch, and then this ground is combined. So this is the ground you need to be able to run it, and then it also just runs up and tells the switch. So very, very easy to install. It's taken me about 20 minutes each to do them. I am going through and having to back glue some little spacers because they cut the gigantic holes, and I'm just putting a little piece of balsa wood in so that I can screw this part in. When you take this apart, this is it. This is the whole module. It's just a push button. The light lights up to tell you that it's going. And then it's got the little plate. Now this has some screws, very small screws that basically hold the wires down. It uses a very low gauge wire. Again, very simple system and very efficient. No Bluetooth involved, no apps needed, no nothing. This is very, very reliable, very easy system. They use these quite a bit back in the early 2000s, and I guess at some point they were removed from RVs, and manual switches were put back in where you had to physically stand there. My problem is each slide in my motorhome is in a different spot. The switches aren't in one location, so you'd have to walk up and down and around to do these slides. It's just a nightmare. This still allows me to push it, and if I have a problem, you just push the button again and it stops it, or you push it again and then it runs it back in, or vice versa, runs it back out. So no big deal. All right, so here I am. I already took the switch out of the wall. You can see it here. So it left a large hole, but there's 3 wires that are used. The red is the all-time power that ran up to my switch on my unit. And then I had yellow and brown. So I'm gonna reuse the yellow and brown wire, and I just capped the 12 volts in case any day I wanna put a USB or anything in the wall here. I can do that if I leave this wire in place. So all I did was splice this wire into a low gauge, probably 18 gauge or smaller. That just goes to the switch. One's gonna be the signal up, and then one's gonna be tied into the ground. I haven't stripped those yet because I want to do that after I finish connections on my box. So you can see I have a regular switch with the 5 wire. Over here is where my motor is. Now that's the electrical motor that runs my slide in and out. You have a black and red wire right here. That's the, there you go, black and red wire. Those are the power and ground into the motor. Obviously being 12 volts, it's reversible. So they just reverse the voltage into the motor, and that makes it run in and out. You can see there's a nest of wires, but it's pretty straightforward. All I had to do was ohm these out. This one had brown. They use a solid white for ground, pretty standard in the RV. It has a spade connection, so I can just connect that right to my module. The blue for show haulers, which is what I have, is the 12 volts in. So this is the 12 volt, this is the ground. These 2 wires go to 12 volt and ground. The brown wire is the switch wire that I told you I had to splice in and connect. Very easy to do. This right here is the yellow wire, which will go to the switch. So these 5 wires right here is all you have to hook up. Once I hook these 5 wires up to my module, which again is right here, you can see that's it. Those 5 wires connect the switch up on the wall, and I've got automatic in and out slides without any extra Bluetooth and apps and this and that. What a nightmare. When you're out here RVing and you're doing this all the time, every time you got to fumble for your phone or connect for something, or give it your location just to use it, like some of the apps are requiring now, it's a nightmare. And then when it doesn't work, you're back in there pushing the button anyway, this is not like that. This system, I probably ran the slides out on my other unit, that's a 2005, at least 100 times myself, maybe more. My unit has 200,000 on it, the 2005 unit. It was used for a mobile office. It probably had them run out 2,000 times. They still work. The technology can be simple and work. In this unit, these modules and these switches work day in and day out. Not only that, they're very inexpensive to install, operate, and maintain. So you have to look into what type of slide motor system you have. They have different modules, some for dual motors, some for single motors. They recommend you mount it as close as you can to the motor. In my case, that's very easy to do because I have Liftco slides on mine, which are also an extremely reliable slide. Very little moving parts. So, for me, that's the only way to go. I'm going out to RV so that I can enjoy myself and not have to deal with breakdowns like some of these other RV owners do, especially when they have these electronic controlled 4-motor gear driven slides that are always out of sync. Either way, I'm gonna finish this install and I'll show you how it works. All right, I'm gonna come back. I put the module in there and my 5 wires are connected, pretty straightforward. Came over here, just quickly installed the switch. Like promised, it's pretty straightforward now. Just gonna scan back, excuse the mess, but I haven't adjusted it yet, but let's see if it works the way it is. Slides coming in. That's it. Now, it's pretty straightforward. We're gonna run it out real quick. Slide's running out. Can't barely tell. Maybe you can. You can hear it. That's it. Can't get any easier than that. Now I have auto in and out slides, as simple as a button push. Obviously it has the LED, which makes it nice so you know it's active.